Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's Positive Impact for Mind and Body. I'm Nicole Fevrier Davis. And Love Infinity is taking a little bit of a break this week. I don't know if you noticed in the other podcast, you might not be there. But we have no fear. We have a lot of fun coming up today. I have a guest. Her name is Toni. And Toni's going to be the first person that I give a psychic mind body reading to here on Positive Impact. We've had some sketchiness and people trying to call in, but they couldn't call in. So we've nailed this now, made this appointment for Toni, and I'm so excited. Thank you, Toni, for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So you initially heard me on the Women's Empowerment Summit. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So the in that conversation, I guess, got you interested and kind of intrigued about what I do. But we're talking specifically today about reading you and what's going on for you. And you had told me a little bit of information of what's going on in your life. And I will say, like, my eyes will be closed the majority of the time. So take no offense. It's just, this is how I read people.
Okay.
So when I look at your energy, I'm looking, from the top of your head, and I look at what I call our personal jet stream, which is the life force, the energy flow through the body from the top of the head, down through the center of the body, down through the feet and into the earth. And what I'm looking at is like a little bit of a jog out of your life, vital life force around and avoiding certain subjects and topics when it came in relation to expressing yourself or asserting yourself with men in your workplace. That is what started this pathway down the thyroid not really functioning the way it should. Now, when I look at people like yourself, there's two things going on. I do feel to some extent that you were very fulfilled in the work that you did. However, there's some aspect of your personality that has yet to be expressed, which is kind of like good news, because when we have an opportunity, I think you're retired. Is that right, Toni?
Yes.
Yeah. When we have an opportunity to actually take a step back and work at something for the sake of the joy of it, we have an opportunity to then correct the energy of the thyroid and correct the energy of the thymus. So if you can imagine, and I'll just give you a little bit of background here so other people can also understand what's going on. When the energy comes in through the top of your head, it's coming through different levels of inspiration. So you may be inspired by certain spiritual figures, people that you grew up with who have passed over, or you may be tapping into an energetic that inspires you regardless of what you're doing right now, something that really intrigues and inspires you. And that information has to filter through the brain. Once the brain is connected and the thoughts around that thing is connected to your physical body via the cells in your own mind, then it is able to be translated through your thought process and your words. So it's vitally important for us to be able to express ourselves effectively when it comes to things that we feel we need or we want to create in our lives, because that is the key. That is the crux of our existence. That's what God has intended for us to express, and that's what's important for us in our health and our well-being to express. So when I'm looking at you, and I go back, I usually, when I see that this energy around the thyroid is shifted off to one side the way it is right now, what I'm looking at is, and we all have this tendency to avoid certain topics in the moment. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That it's more important in your mind to just keep the peace and not really push anyone's buttons and to kind of keep your opinion off to the side. But this is a time, and the Holy Spirit's telling me this is a time in your life where you can freely express yourself without much repercussion. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Does that make sense right now?
Yes.
So yeah, so even the things that maybe you felt uncomfortable communicating about back in the day when you were working full time or you're crazy busy, start writing about how you felt about those things now, because I feel as though you probably had a better way of handling youth fitness and a better way of handling the management of the position that you were in. Does that make sense to you?
I suppose, yeah. I wouldn't have linked my thyroid right now to that. So that's very interesting. Yeah.
I know, I get it, but I see it all the time, and this is why I do try to engage people on this level so that they can build their own mind-body connectivity for better communication. A lot of people don't understand that the center of the throat is actually our center of communication. So when that's blocked, it affects everything else, including the physiology of that part of the body and all the organs that are contained within it. That being said, going down like the thymus area is kind of also blocked, which is the indicator that maybe there's a piece of your personality or your creativity that you haven't fully expressed yet. Have you considered doing something more creative recently?
I have quite a strong interest in energy healing, and I've played with it or studied it a long time on my own, but I haven't put it out there. And I've been thinking a lot about doing something like that.
I think you're going to find something that has not just energy behind it, but there's a practical application to the energy, I want to say. I almost feel as though there's some sort of physiological component. I want to say almost like tapping or some aspect of what you used to do, which, and forgive me, Tony did tell me she was a physical ed instructor. Were you not?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so some aspect of that physiology is going to come into play for you. That's going to be far more practical. But there's energy behind it. Like you almost, initiate maybe, and maybe it's a more therapeutic treatment physiologically.
Okay. Well, one thing I've been studying is called body talk. I'm familiar with it, but it does have, an anatomy background. However, you ask the questions of the person through kinesthetic testing. So there's the kind of the energy component that way, but then the more knowledge you have the body, the easier it is for you to get more specific with the questioning. And then the person's body answers the questions, like 20 questions of the body. So that system is not all energy. Like I also study Reiki, but Reiki is all energy, where this has a real systematic approach to it.
Right.
Body talk. Yeah.
Right. Well, and I have heard of body talk, and I will say, I don't know, I keep feeling like you'd be not for nothing, and this is a shameless plug, but you might be like a fantastic candidate, the best candidate for something that I'll be teaching in January, which is about truth talking with the body and be a body psychic. And I actually, they get to the heart of the matter a lot faster than the 20 questions, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's faster, it's more effective, and it automatically releases pain and tension in the body. I have had success with using it with my clients in terms of weight loss. So there are different things you can use it for, which is phenomenal. But that might be something you want to look into, because that would free up some of the energy around the thymus as well.
Okay.
That once that energy starts flowing through there, and you're deliberately focusing. If you've done Reiki, do you ever do any Reiki on your own thyroid?
Yes, I've been doing it a lot lately.
Okay, so in addition to the Reiki, because what I have found historically with Reiki, I've been giving Reiki since 1990, and I was attuned as a master in 2004, or 2007, excuse me. And what I have found historically is that Reiki is phenomenal at recreating balance. What it is not phenomenal at is changing the subconscious patterns that created the balance or imbalance to begin with.
Right.
So if you could, while you're giving yourself the Reiki ray and focusing on that, also reconnect with that part of your brain that felt uncomfortable with communication. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's very interesting, because I was the only female person in my phys ed department. I worked with 3 men and myself. And so with that, just comes challenges. It was such a boys' club. Coaching was a men's club. I was kind of like a fish out of water all the time.
Yeah.
And I also have a degree in English and religion. So in the Catholic school I taught, I would be given a little bit of phys ed, a little bit of English, a little bit of religion. And so in the phys ed department, I wasn't really honored as a true phys ed teacher because I had these other areas and I'd be running from one part of the school to the other. And anyway, I never really fit in with the men in the phys ed department that I taught with. And that was 3 years ago that I retired. But just in the last couple of weeks, one of actually was my former department head. He came to my house and he's been doing some work around my house for me, very kindly. But that maybe just his presence has brought back a little bit of that dynamic that there's a bit of a discomfort. Although he treats me well, there's just a wall or a block just because of me being female in a men's gym department. And yeah,
I completely agree. So this part of the reading is very accurate for you.
Yes.
Good. Because and I see it a lot. I see a lot of women, maybe not so much 20 or 30-year-olds, but 40 and 50-year-olds now who are starting to step into their own power and starting to recognize that all the time they spent hiding their feelings and their real thoughts and emotions is actually, kind of being detrimental to their own health and well-being. I swear to you, once you get back on track on speaking your thoughts in the moment, this is going to take practice for you because you're not used to this just yet. But write down all the things that you ever wanted to say to people, everything from like the beginning of your career right through everything that's kind of like sniggling in the back of your mind that you don't think really matters to anyone. It matters to your body. And you're going to use that information in an effective way that will help unblock the energy from the thyroid as well as the thymus. Because I really want to see a consistent, steady flow right to the heart chakra. And I also see a bypass, a little sidestep off the heart chakra, like you're really afraid to speak your heart's truth. And this, again, is something that's going to affect relationships and everything else. So getting in touch with that is step one. Writing it out, Marianne Williamson, awesome. But then you have to take the next step, which is talking it out loud to yourself and realigning that energy from the crown chakra right down into the heart chakra and seeing that being a consistent flow. When I do Be a Body Psychic visualizations and we do these things, people see it for themselves and they're blown away. So I want to have that opportunity to do that with you at some point. But in the meantime, if you could just visualize seeing the light coming through the top of your head, running down through the center of your body and right into, each center, the thyroid, the thymus, the heart chakra, and really expanding that and making it very strong, all of this is going to start to rebalance itself. You will not need medication. You will just be automatically and naturally rebalanced. I'm sorry, I had a cup of tea with $3 worth of sugar with cookies. Okay, hello. Interesting. So that's like the most important thing, I think, for you right now. I'm just going to go into the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are really tired, really tired. Do you sleep well?
No, I've been having real trouble sleeping for about 2 months, 3 months maybe. And I don't know why, because I don't feel stressed. I'm retired. I'm generally happy. I go for long walks. I meditate. Right. So I don't know what it is. I feel like it's a physiological insomnia, if that makes sense, rather than a stress. So I don't know why my adrenals are burnt out.
Yeah, your adrenals are shot because you're not getting any sleep, basically. And I want to go back to, okay, maybe you're retired and everything appears to be neutral and, free flowing and not a problem. However, your subconscious mind is working on something. There's a lot of fear in the subconscious mind, and it has to do primarily, I think, with they're talking about the stomach. There's an imbalance in the stomach and your inability to absorb certain nutrients. Are you aware of that?
I've been suspecting that I'm not absorbing nutrients because I eat really well, but I don't. I think something's off nutritionally, and
Yeah.
I think I mentioned I've been on a keto diet, so I've lost 25 pounds.
Oh, right.
But I don't know if there's a nutritional deficiency because of that, and that's when the thyroid problem started. Like I've been on thyroid medication for 30 years, but it being out of balance started with the insomnia.
Right.
Yeah, in the last month.
Okay, so talk to me for a moment here. I'm feeling a couple of things kind of out of balance. One is your GABA levels. You should probably be taking GABA before bed, and that's GABA amino acid, butyric acid, and that helps to like it just slows the signals down in the neurotransmitters in the brain and prevents you from being overactive at night. The other thing I want to say is, do you take a multivitamin? I don't see a proliferation of B's in your system.
You know, I've just recently bought B1 vitamins because I don't eat any bread products whatsoever, and I bought nutritional yeast. And I have the word GABA written down on a notepad right now to buy at the health store because this doctor I've been listening to online about thyroid problems led me in that direction with the B vitamins and the GABA, just like you're saying. Yeah.
Exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this is your confirmation, but I wouldn't just do B1. I wouldn't do the yeast. Do not do yeast right now.
Oh, okay.
Do not do yeast right now. I would do a B complex and maybe add that to a multi. So it's very beefy.
Okay.
So that and I do get what you're saying, that you don't feel drained or anything off during the day, but you will notice a difference in your energy levels as you move forward through your day, if you take those things. Now, I also want to go into something else about the nutrient issue. It's a nutrient slowdown in the small intestines. You're not getting enough nutrients in the small intestines. So that's telling me is that you should probably also get a prebiotic.
Okay.
Something that will help, your stomach set up the small intestine for greater nutritional absorption. I feel like there's this lag on the intestinal lining, that you might benefit from a little bit of a detox, a gentle, maybe a tea at night to kind of release anything that's. I feel like there's a mucus on the inside of the intestinal lining that's really affecting your ability to effectively absorb nutrients. However, I also feel like this is from dairy products from like 10 years ago are gathering on the
I haven't had dairy for a long time now, but that's quite possible.
Yeah, I think this is old stuff that you don't really need anymore. But once you do this gentle detox, and Spirit's telling you that you already have like an idea of a detox program. I'm seeing like a tea, and I think like a gentle tea at night would help kind of purge out whatever's happening in the small intestine.
Okay.
I also want to take a look at. So how much water do you drink?
I don't drink, well, maybe 2 glasses of like cool water, but then I'll have like 5, 6, 7 cups of tea through the day. Like in the winter, I prefer a warm drink to a
right.
So
I would save, if there's a way that you could save the teas for later in the afternoon, early evening, I would save that and the detox, little turmeric in your tea at night, but try to drink a good 6 or 7 glasses of cool water during the day. Stay physically active so that you're not cold all the time. I totally understand what you're saying. But it might be that very thing that you're not able to kind of like effectively flush your own system out, because also certain teas tend to dehydrate you. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Even herbal teas? I drink a lot of ginger and peppermint, chamomile.
Ginger can be settling to the stomach, and I find chamomile and ginger to be kind of astringent, and I'm more thirsty after I've had a cup of that. So you might go for another one, you know, and another
right. Yeah.
one. So that's something you want to think about. I also, let me just go into, there was a little bit of a blip behind the heart chakra on the right side. Did you ever have an injury on your right shoulder blade, like back here?
Oh, that's so interesting. I don't remember ever injuring it, but I get real pain there. And
Yeah.
when I lie down at night, I have terrible pain under the left shoulder blade. And I've been going for acupuncture and chiropractic massage, and it's helping a little bit, but I don't know what I did to it.
Yeah. You know what that is? That has to do with old stuff from a mother relationship issue.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Well, my mom passed away about last year, November, a year ago.
And when did the pain start to resurface?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Interesting.
So this is old mother issues that kind of like constricted your ability to express yourself, you know, constricted your ability.
My goodness, yeah. My mom's favorite expression was "children are to be seen and not heard."
So
and
that's something you're gonna burn on a piece of paper.
Okay.
That's no longer applicable to you. You know what I'm saying?
She never spoke up to my dad. He was almost a dictator in the family. And she was a very sweet lady, but she never expressed herself. And she had thyroid issues. So they say it's genetic, but I think it's more the patterning. And I'm naturally a quiet, unassertive woman, but since I turned 50, I've been finding my voice more. I've been expressing myself a lot more, but I tend to be more of a writer than a speaker. I keep a lot of things to myself, and I live alone, so some days during COVID I don't talk to anyone.
So here's the thing, even if you are alone, and I get that you're a writer, I love that. Writing, though, only addresses one level of energy.
Right.
Your own, like what God has imbued with us, this ability to tone, to speak, to sing, that level of vibrational creation really is a strong feature in you in particular. The more you talk out and practice your thoughts, and practice vocalizing and verbalizing. And if it feels like you should be toning, then, you know, do that, you know, whatever it is, and really pay attention to the wisdom of your throat and your thyroid, that it needs to be heard. It needs to speak. It needs to have a venue that it speaks regularly. And that, I don't even mean, you know, publicly. You don't even have to do that. Just that you give yourself the option of vibrating a little higher than just on the page. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. And that's so interesting because I guess I've recognized that. And now I don't traditionally play a lot of music in my house, but I'm making a point of putting music on and forcing myself to sing to it.
I love it.
This song Brave by Sarah Bareilles that says, say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to hear you be brave, or I want to see you be brave. I've been playing that on repeat the last few weeks, just by instinct, that I know I need to use my voice more.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect for you. Perfect for you. I think that, like I said, the more that you give yourself that permission and express what you need to express and be creative with it, you know. I know my son was going through a period where he was mixing music and voicing over things that he wanted to remember for himself. So beautiful. I mean, the kid was so talented. I wanted to use him in my classes, you know, but you can do that for yourself. Obviously, you know, we all have capabilities now of recording and using music and things like that. And that is so, I don't know, I just get turned on when I think about that for you. I think that's a powerful way for you to heal yourself, be more energized, have more of the that intuitive sense step into your life and really guide you. Not so much like, oh, I got this intuitive hit, but like, I know this is the way I should go. You know, that looks really good for you. I think those are the most important things I'm just talking. I'm just talking to myself.
That's okay.
Those are the most important things that I find for you today, Tony. Did you have any quick questions before I?
No, I don't think so. You know, everything you said is so dead on, from the nutrients to the voice work and my mother, like everything. That's amazing. And
Oh,
you know, I did know the throat had to do with expressing yourself, but I would not have related it to work. But very interesting that this person from work has been around lately, and I think it subconsciously has been bringing that up.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
even if you weren't around, I mean, you would find some other premise to remember what it was like back then, because your soul is ready to heal it and move on now. You know, it's you're at a point in your life where you have total potential to create something different and new for yourself, and maybe for others who need that kind of help. And I think this is maybe an opening, a gateway for you. Maybe you'll explore my course, and maybe you'll explore some other things. But you know, I think this is exciting for you to really step into your own power now, and be okay with it, and not, you know, be seen and not heard. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be very interested in your course. It sounds amazing. And yeah, thank you so much for everything you were able to figure out today, because it really does sound right for me.
Yay, good. I'm so glad. I'm really happy that you did get something out of this. I knew you would. And I will just say to the rest of the audience out there, if anyone is interested in having a mind-body reading on my podcast, feel free to reach out and contact me. You can either email me at nicole@mindbodymastery.org, or you can also just send me a text, 646-739-7879. I should probably put that in the chat. And if you have any specific weight loss or fitness questions or issues, bring those along with you when you do get your reading. In the meantime, this is a common theme. What Tonia is experiencing is very common in terms of thyroid expression, and the ability to turn it around is very, very potent and powerful, especially if you still have your thyroid. Now's the time to really begin expression and expressing yourself freely, openly, and honestly. That's the most important thing. What is your truth? And to express that. Do you have any other questions, Tonia?
No, I really don't. Thank you.
Okay. I just realized, I guess I'm Positive Impact Life, Mind Body Mastery, Nicole. I'm like everyone today. But I want to thank you, Tonia, because honestly, it took a lot of guts, right, to come on and say you would be a part of this. I don't think that's, typical for everyone to want, like, yes, expose my energy and tell you.
Yeah.
So thank you for being so brave, and I really do appreciate it. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone here, but I want to give Tonia some additional contact information about the course I'll be giving in January, and we'll say goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and we'll talk again soon. Ciao. Oh, tomorrow I have a fascinating guy on. He takes people who are sick of corporate life and helps them shift into what they really want to do. So that's Malcolm. He'll be on tomorrow. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.